Ladies and gentlemen of the City Council, I know that you're working on a legislation to block people from owning pit bulls in this city. What I'm going to show you is probably going to be perceived as shock value. This is a fraction of the animals that have been murdered by the city of Denver. In 1987, they enacted their controversial pit bull ban. Since then, 3,497 dogs have been senselessly killed simply because they look like a pit bull. Not only is that discrimination is wrong, we can't do it to people, why should we do it to dogs? These are dogs that were taken out of people's homes. Not because they bit or attacked somebody, because of the way they looked. Breed-specific legislation picks out a certain breed of animal and says, you can't have that dog. You ask, why can't I have that dog? People tell you, well, it's dangerous. Pit bulls are under the constant attack that we heard German Shepherds, Rottweilers, and Dobermans go through from the 70s and 80s. None of those rumors were ever proven to be true. It's just word of mouth and media exposure. What you see here is a pit bull with its kid. This is the true nature of this dog. Proponents claim they're dangerous. They use fear and rumors. The American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, released some statistics about media coverage about these animals. In particular, the last 4 days of August in 2007, there were a series of dog attacks. 2 by mixed breeds, and 1 by a pit bull mix. The ones perpetrated by the mixed breed dogs, and one included a fatality. That made the local newspaper twice. The attacks of the other 2 were 2 pit bulls that attacked a woman. It was not a fatality. She was injured and hospitalized. The media covered that story in 230 articles nationwide. And every major media news outlet covered that story. But the fatality of the 16-month-old child killed by the mixed breed dog made the newspaper twice. The media has done a really good job of painting a picture of what these dogs are not. These dogs are not vicious killers by nature. They're dogs. And dogs, like people, are going to react to the way that they're raised and treated and cultivated. Because if you think about the way we raise children, we're cultivating adults. Dogs don't get that same consideration. The myths that people use to explain these dogs are ridiculous. But if we bring the truth to groups like you who are in charge of legislation, and you're willing to listen to what is really happening with these animals, I have faith that you will stop this legislation in its tracks. Here we have a prime example of what has hurt this dog breed for many, many years. The dog fighting thing. Thugs and gangbangers have made this dog into something it's not in the public's eye. Yes, they've been used for fighting. They've been treated horribly. And, again, when there's a dog fighting ring broken up, it makes the news. And they always say it's a pit bull fighting ring. There are many other breeds of dogs that are involved in those fights. But the pit bulls are the ones that get the headlines. Right here is a pictures of 24 different breeds of dogs. Only one of these is a pit bull. Only one. I challenge anybody without reading the list to find which one's the pit bull real quick. I don't think you can do it. Number 14. This cute little guy right here. That's the vicious pit bull. Even humane societies misidentify this dog around the world. Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, recently had a highly publicized pit bull capture put to death. The dog was not even a pit bull. The family paid for a DNA test to prove he wasn't a pit bull, and he was still put down. So we'll go to the myths. the stories that are urban legend, things that people use incorrectly to make people fear these animals. Number one, the locking jaw. People would have you believe that a pit bull is some mythical creature out of a Greek mythology story that can grab onto you and never let go, and nobody can break his jaw loose. It's a lie. It's garbage. And if you don't believe me, well, you can contact Dr. Brisbane at University of Georgia Pathology Lab. He has done study after study of the jawbone structure of these dogs, and they're no different than any other dog on the planet. Next myth, 10,000 psi bite pressure. Boy, that sounds impressive. You'd think, man, a lion must have that kind of pressure. Not true, a lion has a 600-pound bite pressure. In fact, Brady Barr with the National Geographic Foundation did a TV special on dog bites and bite pressure. And he set up an attack. That's a pit bull jumping on his arm right there. A dog that was trained to do this. I'm going to read off 3 numbers and I'll let you guess which one was the pit bull. Dog number 1 was 328 pounds. Dog number 2 was 238 pounds. Dog number 3 was 235 pounds. The pit bull was dog number 3. The German Shepherd was 238. And the Rottweiler was 328 pounds. A wolf can bite with 406 pounds of pressure. A great white shark, 600 psi, just like a lion. But a hyena, the lowly hyena from the African plain, bites with 1,000 pounds of bite force. So this mythological monster that bites onto people and doesn't let go and crushes bones, it's a myth. It's not true. The next one you have up here is pit bulls bite more than any other breed. It's not true either. Some of these statistics are skewed because there is a very large number of animals that are called a pit bull. They're mixed with labs or mixed with something else, or they could be a purebred pit bull. There are millions of these dogs worldwide. Yet they're not all pit bulls. But let's look at some facts. The American Temperament Society is a nonprofit foundation that gathers and has testing of every major recognized breed of dog. They do it nationwide. They do it in other countries. But here's the interesting thing. They have a pass or fail test. And the animal has to be introduced to cats, other dogs, people, to see if they can be distracted. A golden retriever has an 85.2% passing rate. Who doesn't love a golden retriever? Old Yeller. Sweet dogs, I've known many of them. The pit bull rating is 86%. The toy poodle has an 80% passing rating. But anybody who's known a lot of toy poodles probably knows that. Miniature poodles are down to 77.5%. The border collie, we've seen them in movies. They seem to be happy-go-lucky, fun-loving dogs, 81.5%. And the miniature schnauzer, we've seen them in movies. We have neighbors that have them. They bark a lot. They only have a 77% passing rate. So we have got this mythical culture of this dog that bites everything and locks onto it, can crush anything when it bites. And none of these rumors are true. You know, same rumors that they used on the Doberman, that its brain outgrows its skull and pinches on the bone. And, you know, these things come up from some kind of sewer. I don't know where they come from. But here's the reality. That dog, my only flaw is I love and trust my human. They've been bred to do that for over 200 years. These dogs are super strong, athletic animals. They need to get worked out. They need to run. They need to play. Imagine if you were trapped in a small room, not allowed to go out anywhere. You would be very friendly either. Mishandling and mistreatment by humans is what ruins any dog or person. They have a very high intelligence level, which means you have to tell them you're the boss. You have to constantly challenge them. The gameness word is something that came from their unwillingness to quit. As they are a terrier breed, they're tenacious. They never stop hunting. Human approval is their number one need. They live to be approved by humans, and of course, affection. So in conclusion, I would like you to consider the inaccurate image of pit bulls. I'd like you to consider the results of BSL. In Midwest City, Oklahoma, Maryland State, and Ohio, they're all overturning their pit bull bans. It's all based on myths and fear that aren't real. And it's the true nature of the dog, right here. Would you put that little puppy to sleep? And that saying right there, the most dangerous animal in the world is responsible for millions of deaths every year. By its side sits a pit bull. Thank you very much.
Okay, and thank